Hey guys, I wanted to go over an AOE build that was requested a few times and ultimately show you exactly how I have my ZVZ AOE set up. A lot of it is purely focused on AOE, such as Chain Lightning, Judgment Lightning, and Fireball. I'm going to open up with Victorious Energy into generally Fireball or Victorious Chain Lightning, Judgment Lightning. A lot of the build is 100% dependent upon the situation at hand. Most of the skills I'm looking for is around clumps of or groups of people, specifically in like a ZVZ situation where at a choke or I see a tank clumping up everyone, I'll then throw a fireball at them or drop a meteor on them. Now there is a play to use ice icebound tomb. However, I generally will play off of other people's skills, such as a tank and whatnot. So this isn't necessarily self-initiating setup. However, it doesn't necessarily need someone else to set it up. You can still blow people up by kind of predicting the pathing or movement of everyone. Um, it's pretty easy to tell if someone's going to charge you, they're going to have to go up a choke point or whatnot, and I'll be playing off of that choke point. Or if I see people gathering up and clumping up, getting ready to charge, I'll go to there. But essentially, Chain Lightning is a consistently low CD, so you're just going to spam it over and over and over. At the same time, you want your Venom to be up because it's stacking not only on one person, but 6, 7, 8 other people. Especially as they walk through those puddles, they're also going to get poisoned. Fireball, it splashes out, so the Venom, once again, they're taking burn damage now, but they're also taking Venom. You can use the Infernal Wave as well. Generally, I use it as a finisher. Like someone's really low, and I can just hit Infernal Wave, and they'll generally die. Whereas something like Meteor, I'll wait until there's a clump of people. Generally try to wait until a tank or someone else will initiate something, and then I'll drop a Meteor. Fireball, however, is a bit easier to get off, simply because it's lower cooldown. I can move while casting it, and it does way more damage than Meteor will. However, Meteor can be used in a lot better sense because it doesn't have the same line of sight restrictions as a Fireball does. So it is a very, very much depend upon where you're standing, such as this. I'm standing up, elevated. I could use Meteor or I could use Fireball. So I would use Fireball generally here. But a lot of this damage is purely focused off of burn and poison. And as long as you can keep Venom up, which you can with this build, you'll be able to do both. Everything else is pretty much generic. You're playing off of using stealth to get out of, snare. You're using Phantom Screen to evade any range. However, Phantom Smoke Screen tends to not work half the time, so it may not even be worth keeping on your bar. I still do. It still works some of the time, and I'd rather something work half the time than nothing at all. I want to quickly run over the specializations. As you can see, here's Chain Lightning. I grab all three in there. Burning Smoke Screen, I like to use it as a quick evasion, plus it will proc my passive. Fireball, everything here. I use the Focus Firebomb because it's way higher damage. I don't have to hit it multiple times. And I remove the fast speed because I really don't find it necessary. I feel like I get more kills without it. Whereas Serial Firebomb, I would use mainly on like a Queen Bell. Outside that, you're going to want to do Ice Bear Bombardment. You'll want all three selected on that. Victorious Energy, you want the last two. The first one is really for a healer to use, not so much for you. Judgment Lightning, you want both of the last two. That's for both mitigation and transfer without it raining. Meteor, you can do the cooldown on. Outside of that, we'll jump over to our Dagger side. I'll let it sit here for a second so you can kind of see it, screenshot it, or just use it on the other monitor for a second. And then we have Dagger Side. Dagger Side's pretty basic. You're just going to want duration and cooldown on inject venom. Camouflage, you're going to want to break CC and cooldown on it. Outside of that, there's really nothing else I mainly worry about. Phantom Smoke Screen, like I said, could be situational. I would still recommend using it, but I don't put any skill points into it. That's both of the trees. I'll go ahead and quickly go over the mastery. Mastery for the middle row, you want to go up to mana intensification, and then you're going to go down to the bottom row, complete it, and then you'll go back to the middle row and complete that. Then you will go to the top row and go as far as you can until you can't. For daggers, the middle row is kind of useless, so I would say go bottom row, complete it, then go top row, complete it, and then whatever you have left over, throw in the middle. Reason for it, middle row is more of a dagger abilities, and we don't really use a whole lot that are damage based. And here are the passives that are being used. These can be used slightly different. They can be interchangeable depending on your playstyle or depending on what you may need. Maybe you need a little bit more HP, or maybe you need a little bit more mana regen. But these are basically what could get you by in almost every situation for a ZVZ. This is not a 1v1 build. It's not a small scale build. It is more focused on a GVG or a ZVZ or at least a 6v6. I would highly recommend keeping staff out for most situations. However, there are going to be some situations you may want to have your dagger out. Here's the gear and here's the runes. The staff and dagger are very similar. The difference is I do have a very good chaos rune in my staff, which gives me heavy attack chance. Most of my runes are based around heavy attack chance, skill damage boost, health, but for the most part, everything is what I feel like gives me the most bang for my buck, other than my bracers, which are a little bit different. They all have heavy attack chance to get the highest chance of getting a heavy off. Right now I sit on about 45%, which is roughly 450 points into heavy attack chance, and that will pretty much guarantee a heavy half of the time, which is very good for Judgment Lightning, and I don't have to waste a ton of points into strength. Now, my points and my stat page are simply based on using 1 point in the row until it gets to 2 points. So I do it with perception. I want to hit my 70 on it. And then I go to dex. I want to hit my 60. And then my extra points will go into strength and wisdom without using 2 points into them. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, the passives can be changed, and you will definitely want to use different things here as you see fit. Maybe at night you want to have increased venom damage, or you'll use asceticism to have a little bit higher heavy attack chance. But overall, the passives are very similar to this with very slight changes, depend upon the playstyle or the time of day. And that's pretty much it. You use this game style or this playstyle and the skills, the gear, you'll be more than capable of killing various amounts of people or multiple groups of people. I do have max skill. I do have higher gear score because of the rune grind, but I was getting plenty of kills before runes came out, and runes have just helped a little bit more than what is there, and they'll continue to help as I get better and better runes. I would suggest everyone go and get runes to at least 40, and then gradually hit that 60 mark and get a chaos in every slot, so that way you're getting extra heavy attack chance, or maybe you want a little bit more critical hit, or maybe you need a little bit more hit chance, so you can remove the resistance, robe, and whatnot. I did use the health on the robe simply because it's double health. It allows me to sustain just a little bit more. It allows me to attack a bit more. The robe or my chest piece is probably the most interchangeable piece on the gear set, so feel free to change it around as you like. If you have any questions about the build or about the skills or rotation, feel free to leave it in the comments section, and I'll do my best to get to all of you. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and see you guys in Throne of Liberty.